Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector's Edition DC Classics Deadshot. Now, I ordered this guy from the McFarlane toy store, but the bundle still hasn't shipped. I ordered this one from Best Buy, and it took so many more days to arrive than it's estimated. And I actually saw him at Target today as well. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts. McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. McFarlane Collector's Edition, DC Multiverse Deadshot. Here he is in the package. We have a bunch of alternate hands and a bunch of interchangeable wrist cannons with different blast effects. We also have a display stand and a collector's card. One side of the package, McFarlane Collector's Edition Deadshot DC Classic. This is the 35th figure in the Collector's Edition subline. Other side says Deadshot. At the bottom, there's a barcode, if that helps anybody. And in the back, here's Deadshot posed up from the comics. So with no further ado, let's open him up. So this is Deadshot. He originally started as more or less a Justice League villain, but I'd say he's more or less a Bat Rogue nowadays. He's shown up in and out of Gotham City over the years, but I'd say in the past 15 or so years, people have looked at him as a Batman villain, more so than anything else, and that is right up my alley. Deadshot, his real name is Floyd Lawton. He's the world's deadliest assassin. He's pretty much the best marksman out there. He pretty much never misses a shot. And this is him in his traditional classic attire. This is how I'm most familiar with Deadshot. This is how he had his look for many, many years. They changed it in the New 52 and the Rebirth at least a little bit. But I'm happy to put this version of Deadshot with my modern Bat Rogues or with my classic Bat Rogues. So let's take a closer look. So far, I think the figure looks fantastic. Now, his face, the sculpt is pretty nice. He's got that sort of crosshair on his right eye. He has a little bit of expression in his sort of mask there. It looks pretty good. I like what I'm seeing so far. The only sort of negative thing about this guy, it's done on the Speeding Bullet's body and has that stupid sculpted line going up and down the entire figure. Are you kidding me? You guys still haven't smoothed that out or possibly made even some new parts? So let's go further down. His costume is in gray, red, and yellow. He's got another sort of crosshair on his chest there. He has these pouches on the side, and a lot of people think they're holsters, but I believe they're just additional ammo for his wrist cannons. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. The figure looks good. It looks clean, it looks accurate, except for that stupid thing down the side. And it's not even that big of a deal. You really can't see it from the front, but my god, there are so many better options they could have used. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. He's got this sort of gray mask on, white lenses on the eyes, the big sort of crosshair to help him aim, and then a little bit of sculpt and detail on his brow. I think the head looks excellent. It just screams Deadshot to me. I think the figure as a whole looks really, really good. You guys all know the one little thing that bothers me. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. We have his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. The only difference is this one has a silver DC at the bottom, because it's part of the collector's edition. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Deadshot from the comics. We have Batman's shadow as he's approaching him. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 6 hands, 3 left hands, and 3 right hands. Here's Deadshot with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And then his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. Now Deadshot typically uses wrist cannons as his guns, but he's trained to use any kind of weapon. Sidearm, sniper, automatic, anything. And here's his last pair of hands. This is a pair of pointing hands, pointing his finger right at you. Now to look at his wrist cannons. There are 3 different options, and I think that's such a cool way to handle his wrist cannons. We have the 2 in the middle, which are simply the wrist cannon idle. Then we have the next 2, which are the wrist cannons with the blast effect and a bullet coming out. And then the last 2, which are the wrist cannons with an even larger blast effect. A lot of different options for this guy. Here's Deadshot with the first pair of wrist cannons attached. He pretty much has to have these on all the time to look good because he has that sort of peg sticking out. And here's Deadshot with the second set of wrist cannons attached. This one has the smaller blast effect. And here's his final set of wrist cannons attached. These ones have the larger blast effect. And like I said, I think it's such a cool way to handle his weapons. Now to check out the differences, similarities, and reuse between Deadshot and the Speeding Bullets Batman. And these are the same base body, but they look completely different. So let's take a closer look. Obviously, their heads are totally different. The torso area, it looks like it is definitely different. We have this sculpted sort of V shape here with the sculpted lines through it. And then we have the Batman symbol here on a wrist and the sculpted piece. The stomach also looks to be different. He's got the sculpted lines going up and down, and he does not. The arms are definitely the same. You can see that sculpted stripe all the way down. The forearms and hands are different. The diaper piece looks to be the same with a different belt on top. And the legs, all the way to the boots, are the same. So some significant differences, but you can definitely see the base body. And really the only thing I don't like about Deadshot is that stupid thing on the side. And it's been inaccurate to every single time they've used it, besides the original Speeding Bullets Batman. Now to look at Deadshot, the classic version next to the platinum version. Now the classic Deadshot of the color scheme that I'm familiar with, he wore this in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s. And the platinum version, I believe, is based off the animated look for Deadshot from Justice League Unlimited, and he's sort of done in the color scheme of the New 52. So let's take a closer look. Now I know which one I like better, but you can see he has sort of a darker silver, and a much lighter gray or silver. The headpiece is different. It's black versus white. Of course, his red is bright red, and then it's darker red. And everything else is pretty much the same, but they do come out considerably different. Makes me feel like this is a classic Deadshot, and this is a modern Deadshot, but honestly, this is going to be Deadshot in either one of my displays. Here are all the figures that utilize this Speeding Bullets base body. I think the base body is very nice, except for those stupid lines on the side, which are inaccurate to the Fusion Batman, Black Lightning, Deadshot, and Commander Steel. They're only accurate to Speeding Bullets and McFarlane. If you're going to keep reusing this body, which like I said, is a very nice body, smooth out the fucking lines on the side. If you're trying to keep using it, it's inaccurate to the majority of the figures. Fix it. It's not that complicated. McFarlane has a pretty bad habit of, when they reuse stuff, almost never altering it, just painting over existing sculpted details. And I cannot imagine it would cost them that much to pay a sculptor to smooth out some of these parts. And maybe the sculpt is owned by the sculptor who made it originally. Well, hire that guy to do it then. My God. And a lot of the stuff is done 3D rendering, digitally. It seems like it should be so easy to correct it if you're willing to pay just the tiniest bit. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing right at 7 inches tall, which can translate to just under 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate side to side. He can look up and down about that much. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering a large gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's hinged as well. Torso, he's got a ball joint. Rotate around just a littlest bit, forward and back. Another one in his waist. Rotate around quite a bit more. Forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion in the torso area. Legs, complete as the splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is minimal, but there. The legs go forward. Really not very much. A little bit more if you go to the sides. Back not at all. Double jointed knees. And then his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt. Rock. And of course, toe articulation. Here's a look at Deadshot on a rooftop of Gotham. He's found his target, is getting ready to take him out. And a closer look at Deadshot, firing at his mark. Deadshot never misses his target. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some of their Deadshot figures. And it's been a long time since they made a Deadshot figure. The last Deadshot figure anyone made in the 6 or 7 inch scale was from the Suicide Squad Will Smith character. It's been about 10 years almost. Here are both of the McFarlane Deadshot figures. And I'm really surprised McFarlane didn't make one from Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. I know that game failed, but they didn't know that ahead of time. I was really certain we were going to get at least the 4 playable characters in that game. And here he is, next to all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Deadshot figures. These are from the video games, the comics, and the TV shows. Then, next to my Mattel Deadshot figures. Next, with the Mafex Deadshot. And now, with the SH Figure Arts Deadshot. Here are all my Deadshot figures in the traditional color scheme, his classic look, by Mattel, McFarlane, and DC Direct. Here are all of my Deadshot figures. I believe I have all of them in the 6 and 7 inch scale. I count 11 in front of you. If there are any I'm missing, please drop me a line in the comments below. McFarlane has made some pretty nice additions to the comic version of the Batman Rogues Gallery recently. We have the modern Two-Face, classic Deadshot, and a modern version of Killer Croc. Personally, I plan to put all 3 of these villains into my modern Rogues Gallery display. At this point, the top comic Bat Rogues that we need would be Poison Ivy, Mad Hatter. I prefer a modern version of the Riddler in a business suit, Black Mask, Ventriloquist and Scarface. They've covered most of the bases. I'd say Poison Ivy is probably the biggest glaring comic omission at this point. So here's the McFarlane Collector's Edition Wave 1. Every single Collector's Edition figure has a Platinum Chase variant. Here are both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, the Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. And here's the second wave of Collector's Edition figures, both regular and Platinum versions of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. Then, the third wave of Collector's Edition figures, we have the Death and Return of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman as Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. Here's the fourth wave. This wave consisted of Penguin, Starfire, and Captain Boomerang. And here's the fifth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Sergeant Rock, Connor Kent Superboy, and Manga Batman. Here's the sixth wave of Collector's Edition figures, both versions of the Red Hood, Clock King and Dr. Time, Ragman, and Agent Liberty. And finally, here's the seventh wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, Huntress, and some Green Lantern Corps members. We have Tomar Ray, Evan Sewer, Arcus Chumuk, and the Green Man. And then here's the eighth wave of Collector's Edition figures. This wave was unusually large. We have both the regular and Platinum versions of Lightning Lad, Simon Bau's Green Lantern, Geoforce, Grid, the Christopher Reeve Superman, and Mr. Terrific. Then, with wave 9 of the Collector's Edition, Guy Gardner Green Lantern, Captain Cold, and Power Girl. And here's wave 10 of McFarlane's Collector's Edition, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Year 2 Batman, Deadshot, and Adam Strange. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the most recent digital wave. This is the fourth digital wave. We have both the regular and Platinum versions of Two-Face, the Silver Age Superman, and both versions of Dr. Fate. Here's Deadshot, next to the Grim Knight versus Killer Croc 2-pack. And here he is, next to some recent Walmart and McFarlane exclusives. We have the Nightmare, Nightfall version of Azrael, the Jokerized version of the Death Metal Batman, and the Patina version of the Dark Knights of Steel Batman. Then, with the Entertainment Earth exclusive Batman and Robin movie Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze Blacklight Edition, and the GameStop exclusive Frostbite George Clooney Batman. And now, with Batman in his armored suit from Justice League The Sixth Dimension, and Batman 1,000,000, here's Deadshot, next to the most recent wave of Page Punchers. We have the Kingdom Come Superman, Starman, and Damage. I'm still missing Supergirl from this wave. Apparently, both Supergirl and the Killing Joke Joker were stolen off a truck to the McFarlane toy store. And here he is, next to some recent comic Batman figures. We have the GameStop exclusive Cowardly Lot Batman, the Justice Lord Batman, and both the orange and purple versions of the Rainbow Batman. Then, with the Dark Knight Trilogy, Christian Bale Batman and Batpod 2-pack. And now, with the Gold Label exclusive Hourman and Connor Hawke Green Arrow. And finally, with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker and Murray Franklin 2-pack. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you will know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check them out with some other McFarlane Batman figures. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale, and now with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Deadshot next to some taco seasoning, and here he is with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a great Deadshot figure. My only complaint about this guy is going to be that sculpted sort of striped line that goes up and down his arms and legs. Beyond that, I think the figure is great. The colors really pop. I love the choice of red, gray, and yellow they used. It's perfect for a classic Deadshot. I love the wrist cannon. I love the alternate blast effects. I think it's all very well done. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane figure. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. Accessories are pretty cool as well. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. And if it wasn't for that sculpted crap on his arms and leg, I'd give him a 9. That stuff doesn't even really bother me. You can't see it from the front. But it's noticeable, and it's lazy, and it should be corrected if they're going to continue to use this body. Which I do like this body, so I hope they continue to use it, and I hope they fix it, and I don't think they ever will. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.